day. I heard that you had something to say, Papa. Why'd you say my face? Cause they something to say, Papa.
Look good holding those.
A little fucking cold up here, you know. I'm having my first 40 ounces of freedom, you know. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Welcome to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. We're out here blaring Fuákata music on the top of a fucking hill overlooking the great city of LA.
What's up, fool?
Two cameras kissing.
We got Fuákata out here in lovely Los Angeles.
Let's go!
We're so happy to be here from Miami, Florida. It's a long flight, but we're here, ready to rock it out. So I'm Tyler, lead singer frontman of Fuákata.
And I'm Sofia, I'm the trumpet player.
I'm the drummer. I'm Julius, play bass, just the bass player.
My name's Michael Dann, I play guitar.
He has 2 first names.
Mike Dan, 2 first names, everybody, remember that. Well, we met this groovy band called Trinidad Suave last year. We had them out in Florida. And, we did a little mini tour in Florida, 4 shows up and down the state. And they said they'd repay the favor, have us out here, and we're here. We're ready to do the Ska-Punk.
Oh, he's not here. He's not in the band anymore. No, our first guitarist, Kenny, started it, I guess with me. I think he reached out to Sofia, and then obviously she roped Fo into playing drums for us.
Yeah. And he's not here now because he moved to Costa Rica, so that's why.
Yeah.
We didn't kick him out or fire him or anything like that. No drama, nothing.
Yeah, nothing like that. I hope it didn't come out there.
No, we love him. We love him. He's still, as much a part of the band.
Yeah, he's still in the group
chat. He lurks in the group chat.
Yeah, he's still in the group chat.
Didn't he go to you to do trumpet lessons and you were just like, screw it, I'm going to be a trumpet player?
Yeah, so I play with the soccer support team at Vice City 1896. Right, so we have horns and drums and things like that, and Kenny's really into soccer, so he wanted to get trumpet lessons. And he comes over and he's like, I'm like, how'd you know of me? Aside from the soccer thing, he's like, you're in a ska band, and blah, blah. And it went from there. So, and he's like, I wanted to do a ska project at one point. I'm like, that's it, you're a horn player. And I'm like, come tonight, I have a show in Little Havana at Casa Tiki, which is where we actually wound up taking Trinidad Suave to on tour. So I was like, hey, come on over, catch me on my show, we'll talk more there that night. He's like, is it okay if I bring my boy Julius? And I'm like, your boyfriend? Yeah, for sure, bro, all good. No, I'm just kidding.
We're separated now.
I know it hurts. So they came over and then they were like, yeah, we're not really trying to do something, but we are. But we don't have a drummer, so I was like, got your guy right here.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, you guys came to a show with our last band.
Yeah,
and she put me over, yeah.
When we decided to form it, wasn't the Trinidad show
a year later.
Exactly a year later in the same bar?
Yeah,
a year later the same bar was where the band was born.
A month later we rehearsed for the first time. No vocalist at that point. I mean, it was gonna be
Kenny was gonna sing. Then at one point he was like, nah, I think I'm gonna want to have someone else to sing it so he could wail on guitar. So then you guys brought Tyler in.
And they brought me, the Wild Man. And I've always been following Julius's bands and stuff around, and he's always been, dude, we gotta get you on stage, and you can't fucking play an instrument. You have the energy for it, so I just jumped in, and it's just been working out ever since. What are we at, a year and a couple months now? We got together? No, almost 2 years actually. So we started in 2021.
I think your first rehearsal was in October.
In October. So yeah, October this year will make 2 years. Well, for me at least, my parents were, they're 20 years apart. So I always was raised on my dad's side, he was teaching me Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis. My mom was a classic rocker, and Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, all that. And when I got into high school, I started venturing into punk rock and stuff like that. And then when I met Julius, it really opened the gateway of just digging into stuff you wouldn't naturally hear on the radio. Because there's Blink-182, Sum 41, but then he would show me other things like No Effects, Bad Religion, which is a little bit deeper than what you'd hear in the 90s in Miami on the radio. So that's where my origin comes from, and once I heard ska specifically, that was the first genre that I was like, okay, this is something that I organically found myself, this is my favorite kind of music. I even got my mom listening to it now, shout out Tanya, we love you Tanya.
Oh boy, so my family's not really musical, I guess from the beginnings we weren't, and then I kind of brought music into the family, but I actually wanted to skip class in middle school. I saw all the band kids running around, not in class with little cases, and I'm like, man, they look so cool. They look like they have a purpose. They have something to do, and I'm like, I'm just here eating shit. So I was like, let me join band. They never let me join film club, so I was like, band, okay, let's do it. And my option, I didn't want to play flute, I didn't want to play clarinet, I didn't want to play any of that stuff. So I was like, all right, my options are trumpet, saxophone, and trombone. And I was like, all right. Saxophone looks super dope, but it has way too many buttons. And then I look at the trombone, and I'm like, all right, no buttons. So I'm like, all right, I gotta pick like the happy medium because there's a trick somewhere on these, and I can't. So I picked the trumpet because I'm like, oh, I can play salsa, I can play rock, I can play disco, whatever. And it's been a trip since. And you know, after that, I studied classical music. I got my master's in classical music. And then, gigging on the side and just doing as much as I can with it. Now my sister plays music too, and now there's more music in the family. But yeah, I started out with me wanting to skip class. La vagancia, como siempre.
With me, I grew up listening to a lot of music. I like my dad's music, so I got my taste for 90s rock and things like that. And I always wanted to make it a point to learn an instrument. I tried picking up piano, I tried picking up guitar, and it was around the time that I was going to try seriously taking guitar. And my dad took me to a guitar center, and he's going to buy me a guitar, and I tried a couple of them out, and I was like, I'm going to suck, so I don't really know if this is what I want to go through with. And then I see there's a drum section, and I'm like, lo and behold, there's from the guitar center, what? So I go there, I sit down, they actually let me play like an acoustic kit for a little bit, and at that point I realized, okay, this is the one. And since then I've just taken it and learned, and I've done all sorts of things. And it really just started with me sucking at guitar.
Yeah.
I guess like all of us, it starts with you sucking a guitar. Yeah, same. Well, no, not the same thing, but just my friends growing up, we always were like outside skating and stuff. So then we kind of dove into that kind of culture, and then Tony Hawk and hearing those soundtracks and all that. You know what it's like. So we just kind of went into that rabbit hole, and that was kind of like our lives and what we were about. And everyone just kind of picked up a little bit of guitar, and actually me and Kenny, we grew up together, and we just kind of were the ones that took off with it. Like, hey, let's get creative and start a band. And then first couple bands were terrible, and this kind of just happened organically.
So my dad played a little bit of guitar. When I was 8, he got me one of those little like first act things, and he taught me like the cowboy chords. And I was like, oh, this is cool, put it down. And then when I was 10, I heard Metallica for the first time. And that was just like, what, you can do that? You're allowed to do that? So I just started getting into it. And then at 13, it was just like punk rock, like Misfits, Dead Kennedys, and then Operation Ivy. And I was like, ska is the way. Like I'd always loved reggae too on the side, but just so fun. And I kept at it, kept playing, and here we are with these wonderful people next to me. These talented people.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
The pros of this band are Adolfo, Sofia, and Mike Dann. And the cons of this band, Devil himself.
Devil himself. I just, pretty much like, we're a bunch of wild ass kids that just, we're responsible, we like to have fun. We have the best time together, we flow, we get along great. There's ups and downs always. There's always got to be someone bitching at everyone saying, yo, we're going to be on time, we're going to do this. And you also have to have the person to mellow everyone out, which is Mike Dann. You also have the guy who doesn't give a fuck, which is Julius. And then you have to have my co-partner here. We're both the ones who just run like a lot of the bookings and stuff. So it just works naturally. When I'm tired, she'll do it. When she's tired, I'll do it. And then Fo does all the mixing, mastering, and everything.
And the video edits.
And the video edits. And it's just like, we all play a big part in it. And it works, man. It's a great time. And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, to be honest with you. We're all like the best friends, we're like family now, and that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
Anybody else have something to say?
It really is family. I mean, this is my husband. This is my little brother. And this is Dad, because he's like 37 or something. And Mike is the new cool uncle that just joined. So we just found you. He just got back, released from jail. It's all good.
Oh my God.
I just love it here, I'm like the little kid. They never let me drive because I don't feel like I can't reach the pedals on the van. My feet don't reach. So it's great, They let me get blacked out.
I'm definitely the black sheep son.
They always take care of me, so I like it. It's cool.
It's just a good time. We have a really good time doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it and keep doing big things and just keep pushing the sound of the Fuák. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, honestly, like, we are doing this more for fun because we love music, but like, it's come to a point where you can see it's getting a little bit more like serious, and we're trying to take it as far as we can go. We're humble. We play a backyard show, we'll play a stage, a bar, 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't really matter. You know, we are trying to structure it a little bit more seriously, but as far as the fucking sky is, I mean, you know, and if not, if we plateau, then guess what, we're having a blast doing it, and I don't think we'll ever stop doing it. So,
We're about it.
yeah.
We'll
A lot
be
of
down.
bullshit.
I love seeing our stuff online. It's almost like it's more for us, I think. We're like going on YouTube, we're like, oh my
It's fun
god.
to look back at.
So look at that music video. Do, do, do.
Yeah, we're all.
Plan out the videos and we're just like, we did that. We did it. So it's like cool. And
I'm
then,
really just doing this so I can look at my kids and be like, don't worry, your dad was cool once, he was in the band. Let me show you kids. Just don't ask me what any of the lyrics mean.
No questions,
Yeah.
please.
it's fun. If we're having fun and then people like what we're doing, then why not keep doing it, you know? If they're having fun with us, let's go. Let's fucking go! Woo!
Where did the chant Sofia,
You know-
Sofia come from?
I think you have a point there. I think it's Sofia getting blacked out drunk and
But it
You know,
happened like
just-
the first show. How?
It was
How
Apex.
did it start?
Apex. Roger.
Question for the audience.
Someone started.
Oh,
just
it was
someone started
Raj.
chanting.
It was Raj it was at the Lions Club show.
No, it started at
no.
Barnski.
No, even at Barnski, the very first show, somebody started doing it, and everybody
I think it was
just
the
got
Vice
in.
City people, because they all came in.
Yes.
we don't know.
And then
It came from, long story short, it came from the fans. And then
And
once
I
we
can't
heard
actually
how
choke.
much it popped off and like it was like a serious thing, I think I've took it upon myself to make sure every show we start a Sophia chant, and it just, and then when we do it, there goes Sophia with her drink, fucking drinking the
Yeah.
whole damn thing and just jumping around being crazy.
Yeah,
So
there's been times where she wouldn't have a drink or a beer.
I do.
So, yeah, you know, you gotta look out. Once the chant starts, I gotta find my beer wherever it is on stage, hand it to her. Like, see, I don't have a beer for the rest of the set, but
Yeah, at
it's
first
worth it.
I just panicked. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Everybody's yelling. I'm like, and I just like took my beer, chugged it, spilled it all over myself, and I
Yeah,
guess.
as you can tell, she can't really drink.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Anything.
So I'm sorry. I probably like spilled like half your beers all over myself, but I appreciate it every time.
Gotcha.
thank you guys. Fuákata, Miami, Florida. Ska-Punk.
So me and my friends, we go down to the show, kicking and screaming and throwing elbows. Punks to the left.